Hey, hey, financial besties. How you doing? How you been? I hope you are well wherever you are in the world. Leave some money babies in the live chat. Let me know you're here. Let me know where you're watching from. And tell me how you're doing. Tell me how you're doing. It is early Sunday morning, where I am in Bangkok, Thailand. So in this video, I wanted to talk about some things about where I am. When it comes to moving abroad to Thailand, a lot of people online talk about the Thailand's DTV, the Destination Thailand Visa. And that's a 5-year extended tourist kind of visa. And I understand why that visa is so popular, because for a lot of people, it feels like Thailand finally created a visa that normalizes modern life for digital nomads, life for people who work remotely, life for people who make online income, for people that travel frequently, and people that value location independence, right? So for a lot of people, for most people, the DTV genuinely makes sense, right? But I think there's a nuance that gets lost online, because most of the conversations about Thailand visas are dominated by this new DTV, and it's dominated by digital nomad culture. And people start to automatically assume that that's their only option. So, in this live stream, I want to share a different perspective and why I chose the Wealthy Pensioner Visa over the DTV. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about other options that may be available to you too. Because I know most of my audience are investors. Most of my audience are very comfortably financially. Most of my audience are either financially independent or pursuing financial independence. So I know that the DTV may work for you, but I also want you to know that there are better options that are available for you too. So if you are new to my channel, hey girl, hey, I am Malika, a stock market investor and a money coach. After I built my investment portfolio, I retired early at the age of 47, and now I live abroad on the passive income that's generated by my portfolio. I've taught hundreds of Black women how to invest in the stock market, and it is one of the things I am most proud of in my life. One of those Black women became a multi-millionaire. She is now financially independent. 3 became millionaires. There are about 2 more coming up the rear, probably going to hit that target this year, and dozens more are in progress. I love, love, love my community of women that I work with, and I am so proud of the work that they do to create freedom in their lives. So if you would like to work with me, you can schedule a wealth clarity call. I put the link in the video description, but my channel specifically is for women who are building wealth through investing in the stock market and creating a life that centers peace and wellness. That's what I represent. That's what I embody. And that's what my life demonstrates. So if that is the type of content that you enjoy, subscribe. Go subscribe to my channel, child. Welcome, welcome, new friends. And let me say hello to my OG besties before we get started. Let me say hello to my OG besties before we get started. What's up, y'all? Who's with me in the live chat? Y'all say hello? If you're here, did you say hello? And drop some money babies in chat because y'all know I like the money babies. Y'all know the money babies make me happy. Hey, Miss Eileen. Good evening, girl. Thank you so much for sharing the custom money babies. Hello, channel member. Let me see any other channel members with me yet. Say hello to my channel members first. I don't see any other channel members in the live chat. If y'all swing by later, put some money babies in the chat and I'll say hey to you too. Let's see who else is with me. Hey, Miss Tanya Brooks. How you doing? How you been? I love the money babies. Love it. Hello, Miss Faithful Jones. Hey, girl. Hey. Thank you so much. I tell you, the sunshine. I love it. The sunshine, the eating healthier and drinking more water, and of course the genetics. I love it. I need to get some of those little eye patch things and start doing like the girlies be doing on social media, like the makeup girlies after they do their facial routine at night, they put the little eye patches on. I ain't into all that, but I might start playing little dibbling and dabbling in the little girly stuff because I want to improve, little minor things. I love my skin, but I want to improve little minor things. So I might start watching some YouTube videos so I can learn how the girlies do it when they wear the little eye patches. Cause I don't know nothing about that. Everything you see is all natural. I don't know nothing about that. But thank you, girl. Thank you, girl. I'm a bootleg girly. I'm so bootleg, y'all. Tanisha Sheriff. Hey, girl. Hey. I haven't seen that name before. Welcome, new friend. Tanya Brooks in Jackson, Mississippi. Thank you. Yes, let's talk about it. We're going to talk about it. We definitely going to talk about it because there are other visas that may be available to you that are better than the DTV. But I understand why the DTV is so popular. I understand. I get it. Miss Sherry Bush. Hey, girl. Hey. Love the money babies. Miss Cece. Hey, Cece. So good to see you. Oh, another new name. Inspirations 4K. I like that name. Welcome, new friend. Welcome, new friend. Thank you, Faithful Jones. Circling back with the money babies. The money babies make me feel warm and fuzzy when I'm hanging out with my friends. I appreciate y'all. Miss Harlem Minded. Hey, girl. Hey, yes. Come through with our new braids. Y'all, I'm about to do a separate video. When I tell you these Thai ladies, they know our hair. I tried somebody new. This is the third shop I've been to, and this is the shop that's going to be my regular. The experience was top tier, 10 from beginning to end. I'll do a separate video to tell you about it. When I say they know our hair, I mean from the wash process to the detangling process she was so gentle, just the moisturizing process, locking in the moisture. Girl, what you know about locking in moisture? I was like, yo, I feel like I'm right at home. And just the energy in the shop, the people coming and going, the family, the babies in the background crying, people coming in selling stuff. Girl, I felt like I was in DC, in a shop in DC, getting my hair done. So I love it. The good, the bad, all the things that make a Black hair salon what it is at home. This shop here, all the same. I love it. And she will be my girl. I'm definitely going back. But thank you. All right, I think I said hello to everyone. If anyone comes in later and I missed you, just say hello. Leave some money babies in the chat. Say hello in the chat, and I'll circle back and shout you out later. But so glad you are here. Thank you for joining me. But the DTV. When it first launched, the internet was excited. And like I said, I understand why the DTV is so popular. Because before the DTV, there were tons of people that were like piecemealing, patching their long-term life in Thailand together. They were coming to Thailand on the regular tourist exemption with their passport. And then every 30 days, they would do not tourist runs, border runs. They would leave the country, go to another country, come back, get stamped in for another 30 days, maybe do a 30-day extension. And then in 2024, Thailand made the visa exemption 60 days instead of 30 days. So then that made people a little excited because they could stay longer before the border runs. Then some people were doing education visas, so they had to go to class and study Thai, and the education visa was only 1 year. Some people would get turned away at the border when they would try to do the border runs and come back, and then Thailand, clamped down on the border runs and didn't allow people to get another 60 days. So there was a lot of uncertainty and a lot of constant changes around the immigration rules. And it started to make it very difficult for people to try to patch together their long-term life here in Thailand. So when the DTV came along, it gave a lot of people legal access to the kingdom. And the DTV is for up to 5 years. But it's still a tourist visa because they still have to leave the country every 6 months, right? And what I understand is that when people come back into the country after they do their legal border run, some people are still heavily scrutinized at the border about, especially if they have one of those soft power selections where they say they're studying Muay Thai or they're taking a cooking class. If you come back into the country or try to come back into the country, some of those immigration officers are questioning you about the soft power selection. They may test your ability to do Muay Thai. They may ask you questions about, Thai cooking ingredients. If you're on an education visa, they may question your proficiency. They may ask you to say certain things in Thai, and a lot of people, they've been choosing these soft power or these selections, and they may do them for the first couple of months. But because the DTV is for 5 years, they know you're not taking a cooking class for 5 years. They know you're not taking Muay Thai for 5 years. They know you're not studying the language for 5 years. So they're testing people when they try to come back into the country. And if you don't pass the test, even people with the DTV are being challenged and some are being turned away. So the DTV, in my opinion, is still under a lot of scrutiny, but it does legalize border runs. That's in essence what you get with the DTV. You're able to stay longer for 6 months, but you still got to do a border run, but it's a legal border run now. But even with that, when you come back in, you could still be heavily scrutinized. But it's popular. It fits the lifestyle for a lot of people, especially the digital nomads. It's often centered around the content that you see online is often centered around like really super duper cheap, low cost living, renting a condo for like $300 or $500. The content is centered around, frequent travel because you got to leave the country every 6 months. So they go to Vietnam or they go to Malaysia. Some people go to Bali, especially if this is their first experience in Southeast Asia. So they take advantage of those opportunities every 6 months to explore the rest of Southeast Asia. And I think it's a wonderful thing. And also working from anywhere is trendy now too because of the digital nomad culture. But for me, because I've done all of those things, I've done the exploring Southeast Asia, at least the more popular hotspots.
I still have a lot more Asia exploring to do, but I've done all of those things. So for me, I just didn't want temporary access anymore. My priorities now are more centered around ease. Y'all know I prioritize ease. It is not just a buzzword for me. My life prioritizes ease. My coaching, Invest with Ease, prioritizes ease. All of my clients can tell you all the complicated, confusing, chasing trends stuff. I teach them those same concepts, but the easy way to do it. So my priorities center around ease. My priorities center around simplicity and low friction living, even low friction relationships. Child, if being your friend is too hard, it's too complicated, and I got to jump through hoops and justify this and explain that, child, we can't be friends. My life prioritizes simplicity, low friction, long-term sustainability, right? The last video I did, I talked about the long-term sustainability of my investment portfolio, and I exposed some of the concerns I had and what I'm doing to address them, because long-term sustainability is important to me. And most importantly, the most important is quality healthcare. Quality healthcare and being monitored because of my pre-existing conditions, being monitored and having a consistent relationship with a quality healthcare provider. Right? Those are my priorities. And I think those represent two very different philosophies of living abroad. What people prioritize and center when the DTV is a good fit for them versus what I prioritize and center. And it's not to say that either one is better, but they have completely different goals, completely different lifestyles, completely different priorities. And I would even venture to say that they also have completely different stages of life. Because eventually, most people age out of the hyper transient lifestyle, right? You're not seeing too many people in their 50s and 60s and 70s just being hyper transient and bouncing around to different countries every month. And if they're new to retirement, they may start off that way. Because when you retire, I have a video where I talk about the different stages of retirements. The first couple of years is like the go-go phase. But once you enter phase 2 and phase 3, you kind of overcome that phase and you're looking for stability and you're looking to settle down. And frankly, that's where I am right now. I have the go-go stage. I've been to 62 countries. I still travel, or at least I still want to get back into travel. This past year, I've kind of been stable here in the Southeast Asia part of the world. So I still want to get back into traveling, but I won't travel as quickly or as frequently as I used to, because now stability matters more to me. And when I'm living abroad, legal clarity matters more to me. I don't want to come back home where I have built my whole life. I don't want to come back home from a trip and be scrutinized at the border because I don't know how to say certain sentences in the local language. I don't want to be questioned about my cooking skills using local ingredients, or whatever soft power was chosen. I don't want to be scrutinized at the border. I just want to come back home to my life. So I want the legal clarity to know that no matter what, this is home for me now. And also, healthcare matters more for me than anything than any of those things I mentioned right now. And after looking at my priorities and the kind of life I wanted to build abroad, I chose the long-term residency option and the wealthy pensioner visa over the DTV. It just made more sense for me and where I am in life. And I laugh when I say wealthy pensioner visa because I already know. And if you agree, you can put this in the comments. I already know when people hear wealthy pensioner visa, they immediately imagine a traditional retiree with a pension. So like an old person, old white men on the beach in Speedos, or people that are just fully disconnected from any type of work life. And honestly, I don't fit any of that. I'm not a traditional retiree. I'm not an old rich white man that spent his life on the beach wearing Speedos, chasing after the little young Thai girl. I'm not any of that. But I think Thailand understands something that is changing around the world. I think Thailand understands that there is now an entire category of globally mobile people who technically qualify as retirement age on paper based on the age that Thailand defines as retirement age, but are still highly active, which I am, still entrepreneurial, which I am. They are investors. They are travelers. They are financially secure. That's the key. And they're building their lives around international flexibility. That isn't the old model of retirement anymore. Because a lot of people, especially a lot of affluent people, they're not stopping life at a certain age, regardless of how old they are. We are simply redesigning it because we no longer need an employer for income anymore. So we're redesigning our lives. And I think Thailand understands that. And Thailand has positioned itself to attract that demographic of people. Yes. There's other things I find fascinating about that. Well, let me check in with you all to see what you think about what I've shared so far. The DTV versus other options that may be a better fit for you. Are you a DTV girl? Do you have the DTV? Are you considering the DTV? Or are you considering other options? Or have you already secured other options? Yes, Taya, she studied our hair, girl. She had to because this was on point. This was on point. One of the best hair salon experiences I've had in a long time. Ease is always good. Yes. Bonjour, Miss Sierra. Are you in France? Yes, girl. Stability is health. Stability is health. What does healthcare look like in Bangkok? We'll talk about that in a separate video. All right, I promise I'll talk about that in a separate video, especially as I continue to have more and more experiences using the healthcare in Bangkok. I don't want to talk about it theoretically. A lot of people talk about it theoretically. I will talk about it when I have an actual experience to share, so I have evidence for what I'm saying. And as always, I will talk about it very honestly. I will share the challenges that I may experience as well. But yes, we'll do that in a separate video. Yes. Health is wealth. Amen. Amen to that. Health as well. And welcome new friends, Zaru Babel. New name, I love to see. New friends in the live chat. Oh, Miss Sierra said, I got mine through marriage, then divorce. Ain't no way I was gonna be in Europe with no papers. Hell to the no, no, no. I know that's right. You ain't gonna catch me out here slipping with no papers. I need to have the legal right to be here because, especially with all the craziness that's going around in the world, something pop off. I don't need anybody to be questioning my legality. I got my papers. Let me in. Ah, yes. Where are you, Monsieur? Are you in France? Did you say? Oh, you split your time. Oh, okay. You split your time between Paris and San Diego, taking care of my dad in my house. Awesome. You living a good life. That sounds like a good life to me. Splitting your time between Paris and San Diego. Retirement looks different now. Yes, Miss Tanya. Retirement looks different now from my parents and grandparents' days. You know what? I think retirement is whatever you design it to be. I think retirement is less about stopping what life used to be, or just stopping work. I think it's about life design. You have the freedom and flexibility to redesign your life to be whatever you want it to be. You're just not beholden to an employer anymore. You're not tethered to a 9 to 5 and clocking in. No one else can control 40 hours of your life anymore. You own all 24 hours of your day, literally, so you get to redefine it the way you want. So, yes, retirement looks very, very different from my parents and our grandparents. Life is not just about work. There's more to life than work. Yes. I'm considering the DTV. Hey, Eileen. Excuse me. I'm considering the DTV since I'm not quite sure where I'll land for home base. That is reasonable. That is reasonable because you're still exploring and you still want to move around. Yeah. Plus, the culinary school that I found helps with getting that, so I'll have the opportunity to see if it's a good fit. Okay. Okay. My only caution for you is the culinary school is typically only 6 months. It might extend to a year. I very rarely see any that extend a year, but the culinary school is for 6 months. So that will cover you for like your first 6 months of the DTV. But because the DTV is up to 5 years, at some point, as you leave the country and return, you leave the country again and return. So at the end of year 1 or year 2, those immigration officers know you're not still taking that same cooking class. That's the problem that people are having at the border because the DTV is still relatively new. It just came out in 2024. So a lot of people are just starting to experience these challenges at the border. Those border officers, they know that you're not still in the cooking class or that you're not still taking Muay Thai lessons. So at some point, you're going to be challenged, you're going to be scrutinized, and you're going to have to come up with another justification. So to me, that's the uncertainty that it creates. But if it fits your life and that's what you want and you're fully aware of it going in, and that is a risk that you're willing to accept, then it's fine. It fits you. It works for you. So that's awesome. To me, that just sounds a little stressful. And it's not a risk that I was willing to take. Someone asked, what is DTV? It's called the Destination Thailand Visa, not digital. The Destination Thailand Visa. What are the requirements for the Pensioner Visa? Great question. I'm going to share that with you right now, as soon as I look at these other comments. But your question is a good one. Thank you for asking that. I saw a post on socials where someone was sharing she doesn't quite know what to do with herself now that her teaching career is over. I was like, girl, you better go live your life. I know that's right. And I think that's the mentality of the older generations. Their identity is their career. So once their career is over, they kind of go through like a grieving process, which from a human standpoint is kind of understandable. That's all you did for 30, 40 years of your life. Now that that part of your life no longer exists, it's like, dang, what now? But a lot of us today, I think starting with my generation and definitely the people, the millennials that come after me, I'm Gen X, we are doing multiple things throughout our lives. A lot of people have a career and run a business. So when the career is over, they just easily transition into the business. For me, I was a frequent traveler, even when I was working. There were some years I would take 10 to 12 trips a year. I was going somewhere every single month. So when my career was over, I just transitioned right into the frequent traveler life, So I had something to retire to. That's actually something that a lot of retirees are advised to do. So before you leave your career, don't just think about what you're retiring from, think about what you're retiring to. And most people fail to do that. They usually don't have a life outside of their 9 to 5. So they don't know what to do with themselves. It sounds very foreign to me and you too, clearly, but they don't know what to do. Let's see, our girl is stressful, but I'm blessed. Oh, living between the two countries is stressful, but I'm blessed. It was work, but I did the thing. You sure did, girl. Malika, when are you ready to visit Paris again? Let me know. I rent my place on Airbnb when I'm in the States. You have a spot. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I have no plans to visit Paris again. I've only been to Paris one time. I took my daughter for her 18th birthday. And no, I'm fibbing. I've been to Paris 3 times. My first time, I took my daughter for her 18th birthday, and it was a wonderful trip, wonderful experience. And it was so cute because the Mother's Day after that, I used to wear a Pandora bracelet, and I used to wear what's the other jewelry brand I used to wear? David Yerman. When I was in the workforce, I used to wear all kind of branded jewelry. But one of the charms she bought me for my Pandora bracelet was the Eiffel Tower, and I still have that. And I just don't wear the jewelry anymore, but I still have it, and it's still so meaningful to me because it reminds me of our first trip to Paris together. But I had a friend that lived in Naples, Italy, so anytime I would be anywhere in Europe, I would always connect with her and we would go back to Paris. And I went back with her 2 more times. And my last visit to Paris, I did not have a pleasant experience because I was outside of the touristy areas and I got to see the real Paris. And since then, I've had no desire to return. But I'm glad you love it, though. I'm glad you love it, though. Yeah, depending on what program you sign up for, it's either for 6 or 12 months. Yeah, and that's what I mean. So the DTV, people say it's a 5-year visa, 5-year visa. Not technically. I guess it depends on how you qualify. But if you qualify using a program that's 6 to 12 months, what are you going to do for those last 4 years? Right? Those immigration officers are starting to challenge people because a lot of people are coming up on year 2, right? So the immigration officers are starting to challenge people at the border now and turning people away, unfortunately. So yeah, so you're in the clear for the first 6 months, at least the first year. But after that, that uncertainty kicks in again. Sherry Bush, yes, the retirement visa is different from the pensioner visa. Well, they're both retirement visas, but you're thinking about the OA. I'll talk about those a little bit. In fact, I think I have a video on my channel where I talk about the retirement visas. But yeah, the retirement visa is typically a 1-year visa. It's a 1-year visa, and it is renewable every year, assuming that you still qualify. But yeah, they're completely different qualifications, a completely different process, completely different criteria. The pensioner visa is in the category of long-term residency. So there's a visa category called LTR, long-term residency visa. And those visas there's lots of visas that fall under the category of LTR, and those visas are for the full 10 years. Well, 5 years you're approved, and then in 5 years you can renew for another 5 years, provided you still meet the criteria. So the LTR are true, legitimate 5-year and 10-year visas. And there is no annual renewal, but I'll talk about all the requirements and the differences in a minute. But yes, there's a difference between the retirement visa and the pensioner, wealthy pensioner visa. I know that sounded a little jumbled, but I'll get into the details in just a second. Sounds like she had no retirement plan. You need to have a financial plan for retirement as well as a retirement plan. Oh, we must be talking about the friend that the other commenter mentioned. As I get closer to my time to sign up, I will start asking more questions from the school about what comes next. Very smart, Eileen. Good for you. I'm glad you're thinking in advance beyond just the first 6 to 12 months. And also keep in mind that even if you get the DTV, and you only are in the cooking school for 6 to 12 months, you can always change your mind. You're not stuck in the DTV for the full 5 years. Once you get here and you do a year and you decide that Thailand will be your home base, because right now it sounds like you're undecided, but let's say after a year you decide that Thailand is your home base and you don't want to have to leave the country every 6 months anymore, you can switch to another visa. So you're not just stuck with the DTV for the full 5 years. If you don't want to be, you can always switch to another visa. So yeah. So enjoy your first 6 to 12 months while you're exploring your options and you're deciding on a home base. And then you can always reserve the right to change your mind later. Y'all know my motto, reserve the right to change your mind later. But yeah. But anyway, to answer the question, the requirements for the wealthy pensioner visa. I'll get into that now. What I found fascinating while going through this process is how selective the process. Okay, that's good. I like knowing you can change. Yeah, you can change. Sure can. Was how selective the wealthy pensioner pathway is, because the requirements are very, very specific. But as I mentioned, the wealthy pensioner visa falls under the LTR category. LTR is long-term residency visa. There are a lot of visas that people talk about that are not residency visas. The LTR category has a list of different options. There are options for, in fact, let me look it up real quick. I can only share the wealthy pensioner because that's the one I have. But there are different options for Thailand LTR visas. There are about 4 or 5 categories. Categories that fall under the LTR, and wealthy pensioner is just one of them. There's wealthy global citizens. There's the wealthy pensioner. There is the highly skilled professional. And there's the work from Thailand professionals. So there's a specific type of foreigner that they're targeting with the LTR visa. And of these different options under LTR, I pursued and qualified for the wealthy pensioner visa. But yeah, let me go back. Let me close that. I got too many screens open now. Close. Okay. So I'm only going to talk about the wealthy pensioner visa because I don't know nothing about them other 3, other than like very general high level information that you can Google. But the wealthy pensioner visa, the first requirement you have to be age 50 or more, 50 or above. That's the minimum, age 50 or above. I love that Thailand considers age 50 retirement age. I love that. Because I'm like, why does the US want us to work until 65 and 72? Child. In Thailand, I'm retirement age. I am treated like a elderly person, and I love that for me. But the other requirements for the Wealthy Pensioner Visa, age 50 plus, you have to have passive income of either 80,000 at the time of the application or passive income of at least 40,000 plus 250,000 invested in Thailand. So either 80,000 in passive income. If you don't have the full 80,000 in passive income, you can have 40,000 in passive income plus have 250,000 invested in Thailand. And the qualified sources of income, it has to be passive, but the qualified sources of income are your pension. I know when you hear Wealthy Pensioner Visa, you think, oh, I don't have a pension. Me either. That's all right. But a qualified source of passive income is a pension or rental income, right? Or realized capital gains. Has to be realized, not unrealized. Or dividends, or interest, and other types of passive income that you didn't have to actively work for. Or it could be a combination of any of those sources. But the total per year has to equal $80,000 USD or more. If it does not equal $80,000, if it's under 80, it can equal $40,000. But if it only equals $40,000 or less than 80, you also have to have 250,000 invested in Thailand. And again, no active income qualifies. So you can earn $1 million from your business. That does not count. Not for the Wealthy Pensioner Visa, because earned income, salaries, income from a business, from a job, remote work, none of that counts because all of that is active income. Another requirement for the Wealthy Pensioner Visa is health insurance. Health insurance. And you have 3 different ways you can qualify for the health insurance, meeting the health insurance requirement. You either have to have health insurance with the equivalent value of 50,000 or more hospitalization coverage in Thailand, and it must be more than 10 months remaining on that policy when you apply. Or you can have Social Security benefits covering hospitalization in Thailand, but those benefits could come from your home country. So let's say you're retired military and you get TRICARE. Those benefits from your home country that covers hospitalization in Thailand, that counts, right? And the last option to meet the health insurance requirement, if you don't have a health insurance policy with at least $50,000 USD of hospitalization coverage in Thailand, or if you don't have Social Security benefits covering hospitalization in Thailand or some type of other health insurance coverage from your home country that covers hospitalization in Thailand, you can have $100,000 USD cash in the bank, not a brokerage account, not an investment account, not a CD, not a money market account. It has to be cash in the bank that's fully liquid, that's in your name, and that's the average balance in the account for 12 or more months, right? So either the health insurance, $50,000 plus in hospitalization coverage, benefits from your home country that covers hospitalization in Thailand, or $100,000 cash in a bank account that's in your name for 12 or more months. In your name and it must be the average balance in the account for 12 or more months. So Thailand just wants to make sure that you will not become a burden to their health system and that you can afford to pay for hospitalization if something were to happen while you are in their country. The other requirements are your passport must have at least 6 or more months validity left and 2 blank pages. And then the last one is optional. Some people experience this, some people don't. I did not. The last one is a background check. And this is requested on a case-by-case basis. But if they request a background check, you must have police clearance from your country of nationality. And that police clearance, whether it's an FBI report or whatever it is that's unique to your home country, it must be less than 3 months old, stamped, valid, and less than 3 months old. And that's only if they request it. Some people they request, I don't know what prompts them to request it. Some people, they don't. But those are the requirements. Very simple requirements. Age 50, 80,000 or more in passive income, health insurance or cash to self-insure, valid passport with at least 6 months left, 2 blank pages, and optional, a background check. They want to make sure you ain't a criminal. Makes sense to me, right? The application process. One thing I like about the Wealthy Pensioner Visa and the application process is you get help. You get help. It's like they pre-qualify you first. They have this organization called the Board of Investment in Thailand, and the BOI for short. But BOI helps you through the entire process. BOI is Board of Investment. I think I'm saying it right. Yeah, Board of Investment. And it's a government agency in Thailand that acts as the primary source for foreign investment in Thailand, economic growth, business development all over the country. So they help you qualify or pre-qualify for the visas that are under the LTR Visa category. And they're like the gatekeeper of it. So before you can submit your application to immigration, you have to submit all of your documents, all the list of qualifications. You have to submit everything to the BOI first. They review your financial credentials. They verify that you meet the wealthy pensioner status, and they issue you an official endorsement letter required to get your 10-year visa. So once you get the endorsement letter from them, you're essentially approved. Another thing I like about this visa is you can apply from within Thailand. With the DTV, you got to leave and it could take, several weeks and then you come back. You can apply within Thailand. So if you're in Thailand on the visa exemption with your passport, you can apply from within while you're here. And the BOI allows you to complete the entire process without leaving the country. Right? And if you are already on a certain visa, it does not pause or freeze your visa. If you got, 30 days or 60 days, or let's say you're already here on the DTV, but you're thinking about switching over, it doesn't freeze your current visa while you're applying for the Wealthy Pensioner Visa, right? Another thing I like about the process is you don't have to pay for the visa until you get that endorsement from BOI, which essentially says you're approved. Whereas other visas, you submit this paperwork and you got to pay, and you just hope you're approved and you didn't waste any money. And some people, they're not approved and they've already paid. But with the Wealthy Pensioner Visa, you don't pay until you get that endorsement from the BOI, and then you take their endorsement to the immigration office and you pay when your visa is being processed. But the BOI process takes about, the website says it takes about 20 working days. So that's a couple of weeks. Your mileage may vary. Some people said it took them months. For me, it took about 5 to 6 weeks. And a lot of that was user error. User error, child, because I didn't understand what I was doing. And I also had some problems meeting the passive income category. I'm gonna tell you about that. Let's talk about that. What I have come to learn from this experience, it's funny now, but yeah, I was sweating. I was sweating and I was frustrated. But it's funny now. I can look back on it and laugh because I understand better. But what I have come to learn from this experience is that not every country views wealth the same. Thailand said, I don't give a flying flip if you have 10 figures in your brokerage account. I'm not saying I do. I'm just saying hypothetically, tongue in cheek. Thailand said, I don't give a flying flip if you got 10 figures in your brokerage account. That ain't what I said my requirements were. Just because you appear to be wealthy on paper in your country, that does not meet the wealthy requirements in my country. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Malika was humbled real quick. So I had to do some things and move some things around in order to demonstrate that I met their requirements. One of the things that they want to see to prove that you have 80,000 or more in passive income is they want to see your tax return. They don't care that you can print out a monthly statement from your brokerage account. They want to see your tax return. And the problem that I ran into, so if you have this problem, this is a heads up. The problem that I ran into is that in the US tax system, there is some passive income that's not taxable. So even your dividends, you have qualified dividends and you have non-qualified dividends. Not all dividends are taxable. So I may have had well over $80,000 in passive income according to the US. But if it did not show up on my 1040 as taxable income, it didn't count. It didn't matter. So one thing I like about the Wealthy Pensioner process is you can have these conversations with the BOI. You can ask them all the questions about what qualify. You can ask them what to change, what to fix, what to resubmit. And several times they just told me what to resubmit. I didn't have to guess. And I love that they have this organization that's solely for the LTR Visa type, and they help you through it before you pay a dime. Right? So in order to meet their requirements, I had to force $80,000 to show up on my 1040, even though the US doesn't require it. But there's a line in your 1040 that shows your passive income. And in order for that number to be $80,000 or more, I had to make some changes in my portfolio. And I had to create a taxable event. And while that sucked, I went back and forth. Do I really want this visa? Do I really want this visa? Do I really even want to be in Thailand? I went back and forth on the decision, and I realized the benefits were worth it. The benefits were worth it. So I had to make some changes in my portfolio, and I had to take a tax hit so that the passive income would show up. on my tax forms, right? And once I submitted my tax forms to the BOI, then I met the qualifications. That one qualification. Another hurdle I had to jump through was the health insurance. Y'all know I'm a breast cancer survivor. I'm coming up on year 2. Praise the Lord. Because I'm a breast cancer survivor, I cannot get international health insurance. Even though it's bare minimum, they only require $50,000. The value of the insurance to cover hospitalizations of at least $50,000 in Thailand. Very early in my survivorship, less than 5 years, you will be lucky to find an insurance company that will take that chance. Actually, I did. I'll take that back. Let me reword that. There are several insurance companies that will issue you a policy and exclude pre-existing conditions. However, I did not like their terms. Some of the terms that made me feel a little uneasy was, number one, they will cover you for all things unrelated to your pre-existing condition, but the pre-existing condition you have, you cannot seek any treatment for 2 years for that pre-existing condition. And then after 2 years, if you have not sought any treatment, then they will cover that pre-existing condition too. Who got a pre-existing condition and they're not going to seek any treatment for 2 whole years? The other option I was given was they will cover it if I had my doctor certify that I was early stage, and I think something about the odds of recurring or something like that. But even with that, the premium would have been ridiculously high. I mean, ridiculously high, and it would only cover healthcare in Thailand. As affordable as Thailand healthcare is, why in the world would I pay a premium that looked like a premium in the United States? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So I had to go with the option of proving that I had $100,000 in a bank account. That also became a challenge for me because I don't leave money sitting in just a regular bank account. So although where I do keep cash, it is liquid and I can access it because it wasn't a traditional bank account, like a checking account or a regular savings account. It was in an account that the BOI was not familiar with. So they challenged it. And even though I was able to prove the balance, I was able to prove that it was in my name, and I was able to prove that it was the average balance over the 12-month period, they challenged the account type just because they wasn't familiar with it. So I had to get statements from the financial institution, and I also had to write up my own explanation. And I had to have that stamped by what do you call those people that stamp things to say this is like true or they witnessed y'all know who I'm talking about. So I had to do a lot of things to prove that this is an account with cash that is easily accessible. If I were to incur a hospital bill, I could pay this hospital bill because that's really what they want. They really don't care what account it's in or how much you have. They really want evidence that you could pay this bill if something were to happen while you were in their country. So thankfully, with the help of the wonderful people at the BOI, I was able to document the right things and submit it, and then it passed their criteria. So it was not a simple process, but with the support that they provided and the hoops I had to jump through due to my own fault, my process took a little longer than what the website says. But 5 or 6 weeks or so, I got the notarized. Yes, notarized. Thank you. But 5 or 6 weeks, I got the endorsement letter from BOI. And the cost of the visa, well, first, once you get the endorsement letter from BOI, then you have 60 days from the date that they issue it. So if you out traveling somewhere or you go back home, once they issue the endorsement letter, you have to come back to Thailand because you have 60 days from the issuance date of the endorsement to get your physical visa stamp in your passport. So you have to book an appointment and you have to bring your passport, and they give you this list of things to do. They're very, very helpful. The process is very, very clear. All the problems I had and the hoops I had to jump through were my fault. But the process is very clear. So they give you a list of things that you have to bring, your endorsement letter, your passport, and all these things. And then you go to this office that's called the Thailand Investment and Expat Services Center. And when you're there to get your stamp in your passport, that's where you pay the visa fee. And the cost of the Wealthy Pensioner Visa is 50,000 baht. 50,000 baht is, I want to say, about $1,500. 50,000. Yes, 50,000 baht is $1,531 based on today's exchange rate. So about $1,500. $1,500 you pay once you get your visa stamp. The visa is endorsed and approved by the BOI. You pay at the Expat Services, at the Investment and Expat Services Center. They process all your paperwork, picture. You have to go professionally dressed. It's a very professional environment. They want you to be in a collared shirt. Men, they want you to have on a tie. It's a very, very conservative, professional environment. It's not the regular immigration office, but the process was smooth. Everyone was helpful. I was relieved that it was finally over. Woo-hoo! But I'm glad I went through it. And here's why. The benefits. The benefits of the Wealthy Pensioner Visa. First one, it's a 10-year visa. Not a 5-year like the DTV. I don't have to leave every 6 months. It's a 10-year visa that's initially granted for 5 years with an option to extend for another 5 years. Another benefit that I like about the Wealthy Pensioner Visa and why I chose it is extended reporting process. So if you live in Thailand, if you're an immigrant in Thailand, the government wants to keep track of you, wants to keep tabs on you. So people that are here on a DTV, on a regular retirement visa, most of the other visas, they have to report to immigration every 90 days. You have to report where you're living. The government wants to know who you are, where you are, and where you're staying. So a lot of those other visas require reporting to immigration every 90 days. With the Wealthy Pensioner Visa, the reporting is extended. I only have to report once per year. One time per year, right? With most of the other visas, other than the DTV, because you have to leave every 6 months. But the retirement visa, you have the visa as long as you're in the country. But if you plan to leave the country and come back, you also have to pay for what's called a re-entry permit or multi-entry permit. With the Wealthy Pensioner Visa, you don't need a re-entry permit. It's automatically included. You can leave and return to the country as often as you want. Another benefit of the Wealthy Pensioner Visa is you automatically get airport fast track. Right? I was actually paying extra for this when I would come to Thailand to visit, especially if you fly into BKK. Ciao. Them immigration lines, especially around peak season during the holiday season, which is mainly when I was coming to Thailand. Ciao. So I would pay for fast track with I can't remember what they call it, but the experience was like once I exited the plane, walked off the jet bridge, there will be a person right at the end of the jet bridge waiting for me, a sign with my name, with the little golf cart. She would grab my bags. He or she would grab my bags. I'll hop on the back of the golf cart. They will drive through all the long walk from the jet bridge all the way to immigration. They would drive past all them long lines, all them people walking with their bag, looking tired and exhausted after a 20-plus-hour flight. Child, we would just zoom past all those people. And they would take me to the area where like the airline staff goes, where the pilot and the flight attendants go through the immigration line, where diplomats go through the immigration line. Who else go through that line? Basically, people that gets to enter quickly. So I would pay for the service to go through that line. And then once I got to the other side of it, then someone would meet me over there and they would have a cart, to walk to baggage claim. They would get my bags. They would push my bags out to the front, and then there would be a black car waiting for me to take me to my destination. I used to pay extra for that. It was worth it. It wasn't very inexpensive. I want to say like maybe $100, equivalent to like $100. But I would get off the plane and be to my destination in less than an hour. I loved it. With the Wealthy Pensioner Visa, airport fast track is included. Okay. That right there was worth it alone, especially being a frequent traveler. I know I'll be coming back and forth often. Access to fast track immigration lanes at international airports, I should say. So BKK and what's the other one in Bangkok? DMK. And of course, you go into Chiang Mai, Phuket, the international airports. So where fast track immigration lanes are available, you automatically get that coverage with the Wealthy Pensioner Visa. But it gets better. It gets better. The benefits just keep on giving. You'll see why I like this visa. I'll save the best one for last. These next two don't really apply to me, but it's good to know if I decide to do any of these things later. Permission to work. People with the Wealthy Pensioner Visa, you can legally work in Thailand if you get the digital work permit. And the same office that facilitated the visa is the same office that will facilitate the work permit. So you can get a work permit with this visa. Another thing is the work ratio is exempt. So when you start a business in Thailand, there is a standard requirement that you must hire 4 Thai citizens for every 1 foreign employee, right? Under this visa, if you were to start a business, you're exempt from that requirement. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. I would still want Thai people on my staff if I started a business, but it's good to know that the work ratio is exempt under this visa if you were to start a business. But the most important that I love about this visa is all income earned outside of Thailand is exempt from personal income taxes. I love that. That is why it was worth jumping through the hoops for me. All income earned outside of Thailand is exempt from personal income tax. There is this gray area in Thailand's tax law right now. And some people are saying it can apply to the people with the DTV. It's a gray area. They're supposed to be closing that loophole to clarify it, but there's been conversations about it for years and it's not fixed yet. But the way it's worded right now is that if you live in Thailand for more than 180 days, and it does not have to be 180 consecutive days. If you live in Thailand for more than 180 days, any income that's remitted inside of Thailand is taxable. So that means even if you're on the DTV, you can stay for 6 months and you have to leave and then come back. That 6 months is 180 days. If in a 12-month calendar year, you come back, that first day over 180 could fall into that ambiguous language and make any income that you bring inside of Thailand taxable. There's another question of what's considered income remitted inside of Thailand. Any money that you pull out of an ATM, you are remitting money inside of Thailand. Any money that you use your credit card to swipe and to spend money throughout Thailand, and then you use money to pay that credit card, you are remitting money inside of Thailand. And in that gray area, my understanding of this comes from a Thailand accountant. In that gray area that hasn't been clarified by the Thai government yet, that income could potentially be taxable if you're in the country for more than 180 days in a calendar year, in a tax year. With the Wealthy Pensioner Visa, tax exemption on overseas income is automatically included. So I don't have to worry about paying taxes on my income that's earned outside of Thailand. I have no interest and no plans in the foreseeable future to start a business in Thailand and to earn income in Thailand. So it's very, very good to know that my overseas income will not be taxable here in Thailand. And that was the main reason. I'll be honest. That was the main reason why jumping through all those hoops was worth it for me. Because, well, child, we don't want to pay taxes. Not if we can avoid it. We're not breaking any laws. We pay taxes if we have to, but we don't want to if we can avoid it. But with those benefits, it is very, very clear that Thailand is trying to attract a very specific category of foreigners. And I think more countries are starting to do the same thing because they're competing for global mobile wealth, not just tourism. I think these countries are starting to realize that globally, mobile people are an economic category of their own. And I love that. So I'll pause there for a minute. Let me see if you have any questions and if I could answer any questions that I haven't already. Let me scroll back. My throat is dry. Yes, a good life is about options. Yes. Oh, Miss Sierra, good life is about options. Yes. Thank you, Sierra. If you have enjoyed this conversation, if it's helpful to you, hit that like button. Pause what you're doing right now and hit that like button for me, please. Thank you, Miss Sierra. Let's see. Under the LTR Visa, can you have a Thai bank account? Yes, you can have a Thai bank account. As soon as I got that stamp in my passport, they drove me over to the bank and helped me open my bank account. So yes, I have a Thai bank account now. And I love it because initially I thought I would just have it and just park it and, just to say I have it. But I'm actually glad I have it now and I actually use it. And it's actually my preferred financial institution now. Because in Thailand, everybody, the mom and pop shops, the street vendors, the stores, the restaurants, everybody uses QR codes here. So even if you're on the street and you want to buy some mango sticky rice, that little street vendor got a little QR code. And one thing I love about the Thai banking system, you log into your account, there's a button right at the bottom of the app that says scan. You hit that button, you scan the QR code, and it automatically brings up their bank account. Of course, it don't show everything. It automatically brings up that person's bank account, and you can send them the payment for what you just bought. And the payment process is done in like seconds. And the security for Thai banking is like nothing I have ever seen before. Like, first of all, after my bank account was open, I was in another city when I had the bank account open. No, that's not why I had the problem. I had a backup phone. When I used to travel around the world, I always had like my old iPhone 10, and I would put the SIM card to that country in my backup iPhone, and I will always have my main iPhone that I use with my US number. Well, now that I'm here in Thailand, I have my Thai phone number on my main phone, and I have my US phone number as an eSIM. So I use my main phone for everything now. So because I initially set up everything on my backup phone, when I switch everything to my main phone, I couldn't access my bank account anymore. And I'm like, why can't I access my bank account? In the US, it doesn't matter what phone you're using. If you still have your login, your user ID and your password, you can log in from anywhere. I could not access my bank account. It kept telling me I had to go into a branch. So I go into a branch, come to find out, I had to show my passport. I had to take picture scans. They had to reauthorize my phone. It's something in the phone, the IEP number on the phone. It's like everything is traceable and trackable. So ain't nobody doing nothing illegal or nefarious or anything with financial institutions, because you will be tracked down. They will be able to trace it back to you. So the financial security here in Thailand when it comes to banking is like nothing I've ever seen before. I had to show my passport again. I had to take a picture again. I had to, did I do my fingerprints? Oh no, I can't remember if I did my finger, but basically I had to prove my identity all over again. And I had to have my phone with me, the phone that I was using to try to log into the account. I had to have the phone with me, and they had to re-register me all over again. And I couldn't do it online. You had to go inside a bank to have it done. I was like, wow. And then after she reset everything, then I was able to log into my account. So I was like, man. I used to feel like, wow, people in Thailand, they share their bank account with anybody. You could just, would you transfer on Wise and, do transfer, you ask somebody for their bank account number because you got to put it in Wise if you're doing a Wise transfer. And people just giving out their bank account numbers all willy-nilly. Child, you ain't doing nothing with that person's bank account. Just because you have a number, it's just a number. I was shocked at how much security and authorizations go into making sure that everything is safe and secure. So yeah, scanning QR codes to pay for everything is so easy, so seamless. Paying for a tuk-tuk ride, paying for minor, small things. You just scan and go. And I started using that account in my Thai debit card, especially in things like Grab and stuff, because I noticed that when you use your foreign credit card in a lot of these apps, even though your credit card at home may not charge you a foreign transaction fee, they charge you. Look at your Grab when you check out. If you're using a credit card from home, they charge you a foreign payment fee. So you're paying more for using that foreign card. So now I have switched everything to my Thai bank account. I know you ain't asked for all that, but now that I live here, now that I call this place home and I'm adjusting to everything in the way of life, I'm completely integrating my whole life into Thailand's way of living, including the financial system. And with the bank account that I have, is also access to their stock market. I haven't done anything with their stock market yet. Of course, y'all know I got to educate myself and do a lot of research and stuff. And maybe if I start doing that, I'll create content about that too. But yeah, I have a Thai bank account, and I am slowly taking baby steps, slowly moving my life over to the Thai financial system. It just makes life easier. Paying bills. When I pay my internet bill, I got an internet bill the other day that was 440 baht. Child, my internet bill, 440 baht. That's equal to like $13. When you get your electric bill, I haven't paid my electric bill yet because I moved in at the end of the month. So when the electric bill came for April, my landlord said he would just pay that. But the electric bill has a QR code on it. You scan the QR code and it pulls up the account and you pay. And when you pay, you automatically get the banking app automatically downloads a picture of the receipt for you. I love it. Like, it's so simple. It makes everything so easy. And a lot of foreigners, they take their electric bill to the 7-Eleven and I ain't doing all that. Yep. What's my word? Easy. I'm not doing all that. I'm not going to 7-Eleven. I'm not paying extra wise fees and all that kind of stuff. I just use my Thai bank account, scan the QR code, pay, boom. 2 clicks. I'm done. I love it. I love it. It's so simple. Makes life so simple. Oh, you're welcome, Tanya. You're welcome. Hey, Miss L. Did you need to translate all your forms? Yes. I needed to use Google Translate a lot, but like I said, the BOI office is very, very helpful. Yes, I did have to use Google Translate a lot. Some things, some of the official documents throughout different processes in Thailand, the banking documents, like your lease documents, some things are translated for you. They'll show you the Thai version and the English version. And I'll talk about that more when I talk about the leasing process I went through and negotiating the terms and conditions of my lease. That was translated for me. So I was given 2 versions. But for this, yeah, I had to use Google Translate a lot. But even when it's translated for me, I still use Google Translate to make sure that the translation is what that Thai version is really saying. Not to say I don't trust people. I trust but verify. Always. I even tell my clients that when I'm coaching you, I'm glad that you trust me, but I am training you to be independent. So I want you to trust what I say, but also verify what I say, because I don't want any of my clients to follow me blindly, to listen to what I say blindly. I train you to think independently and to think critically. Always trust but verify. That's a motto I live by. So yes, I did have to use Google Translate often. Yes. Correct. With the 10-year visa, you don't need to do border runs. Correct. I don't have to leave the country at all. Nope. No border runs are required. It also comes with the re-entry permit, so I can leave the country if I want to, as often as I want to, which I will when I travel. In fact, I'm about to take a trip next week. So I can leave if I want to, but no, border runs are not required at all. Right? Persistence and diligence pays off. Girl, listen, I was this close to be like, you know what? Just give me the regular retirement visa. I was sweating for a minute because you resubmit, they tell you what to resubmit. You resubmit the documents, and especially the second time when I had to submit my own explanation, I didn't know if they would accept that or not. So I'm waiting and sweating. I'm exaggerating, but yes, it took some persistence and a lot of due diligence. Yes. What is the BOI? It's the Board of, hold on. Let me get the name right. I don't want to tell you wrong. I don't want to tell you wrong. We're just going to look this up really quickly. Go straight to their website. The BOI is the Board of Investment. Yeah, I said it right the first time. The Board of Investment operates directly under the Office of the Prime Minister. The Board of Investment is a government agency in Thailand that acts as the primary tool for encouraging foreign investment, economic growth, and business development in the country. And it also says, while the Immigration Bureau handles your actual passport stamps, the BOI is the gatekeeper for the LTR visas. They review your financial credentials, they verify your status, and they issue the official endorsement letter required to get your 10-year visa. How do you contact them? Let's see. It's a website. I'll share the website with you. I'll share it with you. Thailand Board of Investment. I'll share the link in the live chat. Board of Investment. There you go. The English version in the live chat for you, my dear. Let me put that on the screen. Let me put that on the screen for you. Here we go. Thailand Board of Investment website in the live chat for you. I'll also put it in the video description when I'm done with the video. Let's see. 10-year airport fast track. Yes, girl. Jam. I have been an airport fast track girl for a long time. Even if it's an extra fee I got to pay, it's worth it. Because even if I just have a carry-on or a backpack, child, I am not schlepping through the airport from the international arrivals all the way to immigration with all that. Child, no, I need help. I need help. Help me, please. Service me, please. This costs more? No problem. I'll pay. Yes. Fast track me, please. You are an excellent advisor. I feel like I'm ready to get my visa for Thailand. I'm not planning to go. Yes, Ms. Gail. I love the special treatment. I will pay for special treatment everywhere I go, whenever I can. If it's available, let me know. And it's always been worth it. Carry my bags, please. Call my car, please. Yes, thank you. And I love it, the lei. I think they call it the lei in Thailand. The land of smiles. The surface here. It's just, they spoil you. They will spoil you here. Tanya said, I see why you went for that visa. Y'all see now? Y'all see now? Yes. Oh, I froze. You froze and I missed the benefits of the 10-year visa. Oh, I'm sorry, Classy Collections. I didn't know I froze. I'll just state them really quickly again. You can watch the replay for the details. But the benefits of the 10-year visa is, number one, is 10 years. It's initially granted for 5 years with option to extend for another 5 years. This extended reporting, instead of the 90-day reporting that everyone else has to do, you report once a year. No re-entry permit is required. You can leave and return to the country as many times you want. Airport fast track. You have permission to work if you get a digital work permit. You have a work ratio exemption. So if you start a business, you're not required to hire 4 Thai citizens. And the most important benefit for me was tax exemption on overseas income. Sounds like cash isn't king in Thailand. Is that the case? I think it depends on where you are in Thailand. I won't say it isn't, but because I'm in Bangkok, this is like the metropolis area. Bangkok is like New York City times 10, right? So because it's such a huge city and everything is modernized, then yes, everything is digitized. But to say Thailand as a whole country, cash isn't king, I don't think that would be true, because it depends on where you are in Thailand. I imagine even the other more popular cities may not be as digitized as Bangkok. Like, Chiang Mai is a popular city. Phuket is one of the most popular beach towns. They may not be as digitized. What I'm saying is specific to Bangkok only. And in my future videos, I will use Thailand and Bangkok for clarity. But here in Bangkok, I would say the only place I have had to use cash is when I go to a market. Let's say when I go to a market to buy, my fruits, my produce, or if I go to a market that has like little knickknacks here and there. Even if the vendor does have the QR code, I have not seen a vendor that did not have the QR code. Even if they had the little cart, they would have their little QR code stuck to their cart. Even at the hair salon, the hairdresser, she had her QR code engraved on a wooden board, sitting right on top of her salon desk. I have not seen one that didn't have the QR code, but I imagine the small vendors, they would prefer cash. There's a little tiny vendor that I stop at when I go walking in the park because it's super duper hot. So I'll stop there and get electrolyte water, and it only costs like 20 or 30 baht. I have not seen her QR code, so I do pay her in cash. But it's very, very rare outside of like little markets that you'll find some place that you have to pay that doesn't have the QR code that you can just tap and go. But there's a market that I walk through when I'm walking to the park. I go underground just to get out of the sun because it's so hot. But it's like a little mini mall market where a whole lot of vendors set up with their foods and their smoothies and their chicken plates and the sticky rice and all the fruits and stuff like that. Every last one of them, it'll be a little pole right in front of their stand. Their QR code be right on top of it. And all the Thai people, you see them. If you sit back and observe, you don't see too many Thai people pulling out cash. You'll see them all, they're doing something on their phone. And then you see them doing like this with their phone. And I had to watch it for a while. I'm like, I wonder what they doing. I wonder how they paying. Because I was paying, like if they have like a credit card machine, I will tap, like Apple Pay or something. But no, I noticed these people, they was tapping this QR code. And I was like, what is that? I didn't know what it was. Until I started playing around in my banking app. And I'm like, this is what they're doing. And I asked someone here in my building, and they explained it to me. But yeah, in Bangkok, most things are digitized, I should say. Outside of Bangkok, I'm not sure. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Thanks for sharing this information about the banking system. You're welcome. It's very secure. Can you buy property? This is unrelated to the visa. Yes, foreigners can buy property. However, I don't quote me on this. I don't know this as a fact because I haven't researched this. I've just seen it talked about. I don't think foreigners can buy land. I don't think you can own Thai land. But I've seen several foreigners build houses. This is one guy that I follow on YouTube. He's a retired physician, American physician, and he got him a little Thai wife, and he's building them a beautiful compound. And I think he's in Chiang Mai. But I imagine buying the land, it has to be partly owned by a Thai person. But yeah, I know a lot of foreigners that buy condos. So you can buy a condo, but buying a house that sits on the land and owning the land too, I'm not sure about that. But buying property has nothing to do with the visa. It's not a benefit of the visa. Yes, girl. My life is so simple. It's so simple, and I love it. BOI office, how did you find it? I found it when I was researching the requirements of the visa that I wanted. So I researched the visa first. And then part of the requirements is submitting your application through the BOI office. So that's how I found it. I love it. Simple life is a peaceful life. Simple life is a peaceful life. Yes. Trust but verify. Always. Always. I train my clients to do what I would do. I'm going to try to tell you the truth as much as I can, as much as I know. But even I can be wrong sometimes, right? I don't know everything. So that's why I say trust but verify. And then a lot of things are unique to you. They're specific to you. So I may be sharing information in a general way, but when you verify it, you're going to be looking at those little nuances that are specific to you that I may have left out inadvertently, only because, not that I was trying to hide anything or lacking integrity, but it just didn't occur to me to share it because it's a unique situation that may not apply to most people. So yes, trust but verify. But I do try my very best to coach with integrity. I do try my very best to be very transparent, even when I'm not coaching, even when I'm sharing information publicly. But I could be wrong sometime, or I could be leaving out a detail that's unique to you that just wouldn't occur to me. So always, always trust but verify. You're moving to Thailand next month. Congratulations to you. Awesome. What visa? What visa are you getting? I'm glad I found your channel. I'm hitting the retirement button in a few years. Thailand is my retirement destination. Awesome, awesome. So proud of you. Welcome, new friends. Welcome, new viewers. The first one was I don't want to mess up your name. Welcome. And the second one was Foxy Brown 1. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Is it more likely that tourists will pay with cash? Depending on where you are. If you're coming to Bangkok and you have Apple Pay on your phone, most things can be paid with Apple Pay, especially if you're going to restaurants, malls, during tourist activities, you're signing up for activities with like tour companies, you can pay with Apple Pay. Cash, if you're going to a market with a small vendor, definitely have some cash. Definitely have some cash to pay tips if you want to tip service providers. If you want to tip, your hotel staff, definitely have cash for that. But even tourists, for the most part, you can use Apple Pay for almost everything. But you still want to have some cash with you for those just in case moments. Let's see. Have any of your family visited yet? No, none of my family has visited yet. When I was in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, I had family members visit me there. But since I've been here in Thailand, no family has visited. I just got here. I just got it. I literally just moved into my place. It hasn't even been today. I think today makes a full month. I've only been in my place for 1 month. So no one has visited me yet. However, my sister circle, the ladies in my sister circle, that is my tier 2 program, above Invest with Ease. So the ladies that are achieving those $1 million targets or pursuing those $1 million targets, my sister circle, will be coming to hang out with me later on this year. This year, I incorporated another feature of the Sister Circle. We're going to start doing annual retreats and meeting around the world. And this year will be the inaugural retreat. And we will have it here in Thailand. So I will incorporate some relaxation, spa things. We will also have a wellness day. So we're gonna, the ladies will do like a wellness check visit. We'll have spa day. I'll have one day dedicated to coaching. Then we will explore Thailand. We'll do some touring. We'll do some luxe things, getting dressed up, going out to dinner on one of the beautiful rooftop bars with a panoramic city skyline view. I look forward to hanging out with my girls. But yeah, the Sister Circle will be visiting me later this year. But no family has visited yet. We'll see. Maybe next year. Let's see. Ooh, you guys are asking really good questions. Is English widely spoken? And are the Thai people very accepting of Black people? The first part, is English widely spoken? In the touristy areas, English is spoken. Widely spoken? Not really. There is a language barrier here. In the tourist areas, most Thai people can speak some English, might be a little broken, but because they're so kind, they're so nice, they're so helpful, you can have a whole conversation using Google Translate. I promise you can have a whole conversation using Google Translate. Outside of major areas like Bangkok, I can imagine they probably don't speak any English at all, because even here in Bangkok, it's still hit or miss. The people that I've worked with to handle like important business, like the BOI office to handle the visa, they were all fluent English speakers. The people that I work with to find my condo, my landlord, negotiating my lease, fluent English speakers. So I think, it depends on what you're doing. And of course, in any society, the more advanced the economic class, the more likely they are to speak English and to be fluent in English. The people that I interact with at the doctor's office, fluent English speakers. But day-to-day interactions out in the street, out and about, the higher end restaurants, fluent English speakers. The regular cafes or coffee shops or mom and pop shops, maybe not. So it depends. It's hit or miss, but no, English is spoken, but not widely spoken. Are Thai people very accepting of Black people? I think all people are treated well here for the most part. However, I also want to be very realistic in acknowledging that racism is everywhere. It's not harmful, overt racism like you would think of when you say racism that you experience in the West. But I have heard people say things about their experiences in Thailand that didn't surprise me. I haven't personally experienced it yet, but that does not invalidate some of the experiences that I've heard about. I think for the most part here, it's probably more so curiosity than racism. But I think they are very accepting of all people, because Thai people just naturally just seem to be very, very kind people. Thailand is known as the land of smiles, and they are genuinely very happy, helpful people. And I'll just leave it there. I have not had any uncomfortable experiences, but I just want to give that caveat. Don't come thinking that it's a utopia, because it's not. There's racism everywhere. But feeling accepted, feeling welcome, feeling comfortable, feeling like they want you here. Yes, I feel that. I feel welcome here. I feel comfortable to call Thailand home. So, do you have to start the 10-year visa in the US and finish in Thailand? No. With the LTR visa, and I'm only talking about the LTR category, you can apply for it within Thailand. And you can apply for it even though you're on another visa type. So yes, love the benefits. Love the benefits. I know, right? Love the benefits. Hello, Malika, on the U.S. Embassy. On the U.S. Embassy and Consulate in Thailand site, and there is an advisory to exercise increased caution as an American. Say, do not travel to Cambodia and Thai border due to armed conflicts. Yeah, I'm aware of that. Anytime you travel abroad, make sure you register on the STEP website, the State Department STEP website. What the STEP stand for. So you can get these types of alerts. You can get them directly to your phone. Smart website. I'm saying STEP, smart website. It's called the Smart Traveler Enrollment Program. That advisory to exercise increased caution as an American, they include that around the globe on every country's website. And that has been an alert since that person in the White House start attacking in the Middle East, because it's making other people look at us like, so they say keep your head on the swivel. So that part isn't anything unique to Thailand. That is an alert for all countries around the world because of what that person in the White House is doing. As far as the second half, do not travel to Cambodia and Thai border due to armed conflict. Yeah, that's true too. That's been up there for a while. From my understanding, and this part, don't quote me on it, but from my understanding, there's always been a historical conflict between Thailand and Cambodia due to claims of land control. I guess there's a portion of land, one country saying it belongs to me, the other country saying it belongs to them. They've been at war before, then things have kind of settled. The conflict has been squashed, and then every so many years it start up again. Yeah, I'm aware of both. Thank you for reminding me of it, and thank you for bringing it to this conversation, because it's very, very important to stay aware of what's going on around you. I know a lot of people move abroad and sometimes only focus on the positive or, the wonderful things because it's less stress than the United States. And they paint a picture as if it's a utopia, as if life is wonderful everywhere. And that's just simply not true. Even if you move abroad and it's better than where you are from, it's not perfect. And you still should be aware of what's going on in the country where you live. I follow a lot of English speaking Thai news resources so I can stay abreast of what's going on around me. I've registered for the alerts. I subscribe to other news sources and alerts on my phone. Not that I'm like hyper vigilant. It's just simple awareness. And another thing, a lot of people think because this is a land of smiles and it's extremely safe, and it is, a lot of people often compare it to the United States in terms of like gun usage. And people automatically assume that there is no gun usage here in Thailand. And that's not true. In fact, I read an article that said out of all the Southeast Asian countries, Thailand has the most per capita, the most gun ownership in all of Southeast Asian countries. So while there may not be like mass incidences like it is in the United States, it does not mean it doesn't exist here. So yes, again, thank you for bringing that to the conversation. It's important to be aware of what's going on around you and the safety precautions that you should take in your new home country. Let's see. What else? Is there anything else I wanted to share? Anything else I wanted to share? But in terms of the wealthy pensioner visa, I think there are, in addition to the benefits that I shared from it, there are a lot of benefits of living here in Thailand and then having that visa that gives you that legal long-term access without conditions. It really, really can contribute to your quality of life. Just generally speaking, living here in Bangkok, one of the reasons why I chose Bangkok, and I shared the details in the other video already, but you get access to luxury, that luxury living that is above and beyond anything that I experienced in the United States. I feel like what the ultra wealthy people in the United States experience, you can come to Thailand as a upper middle class person and experience the things that ultra wealthy people in the US experience. The same way a poor or working class person in the US could come to Thailand and experience middle class life, right? So the luxury living is plentiful and accessible. The domestic support services that are available is exceptional. The quality private healthcare, even the public healthcare, from what I understand, I've never experienced it myself, but from what I understand, even the public healthcare is really good. But the private healthcare is like top-notch, 7-star hotel type experience. The conveniences here in Thailand, oh my God, the conveniences. If I wanted to send something to a friend and I just didn't want to meet up with her today, I can place an order on an app. They will come to my house and get it and then take it to her. And everything could be tracked the whole way with pictures and confirmations, the whole nine. The convenience of it all. Something I just recently learned last weekend was outside of my condo, but even though where I live, I'm pretty centrally located, so I can pretty much walk anywhere, hop on the metro, or take a quick grab car to pretty much go anywhere. But I was out walking the other day and I saw food trucks lined up outside of my building. I was like, what's this? So I thought it was like something going on, like a festival where they were setting up for something. No, I learned that different food trucks come out here every single weekend and they set up outside the building for certain blocks of time. There's bakeries, there's Thai restaurants, Western restaurants, coffee shops, like all these options that are just so easily accessible that just makes convenience. It spoils you. So I'm like, man, this is amazing. But the hospitality here, walking in and out of the building, and people are smiling at you, laying to you, opening the door for you, like it's a feeling that you have that just makes you like, man, life is good. It's really good. But another thing I love about living here is the international connectivity to the world, like direct flights to so many different countries around the world. And the flights are affordable flights. So, because of the quality of life, the visa options, the tax benefits of the wealthy pensioner visa, I just think Thailand is becoming one of the most attractive countries for financially independent people. A lot of people look at Thailand as like a cheap country. You see a lot of content on social media. Oh, it's so cheap. It's so cheap. I despise the word cheap. In fact, when you think about it, can you imagine how it feels as a Thai person who's struggling in their country, or they have to work really, really hard to live a good life in their country, and they see a bunch of foreigners creating content talking about how cheap their country is? Can you imagine how offensive that could be to someone that openly welcomes you into their country, and you're constantly reminding them of how cheap their country is when it's not cheap for them? I despise that word. I despise it. Thailand is positioning itself to attract a different type of foreigner. And it's not the foreigner that's looking for cheap. It's not the foreigner that's looking for the $300 condo. Thailand is positioning itself to compete with other countries around the globe, including countries in the West. In the past, most Americans that moved abroad, they moved abroad to Europe, right? The way of life that's available here in Thailand, it makes it even attractive to the people that are not looking for just cheap, right? And I personally think that people with the most freedom, people that are truly free, they intentionally structure their lives around ease and international flexibility, right? You live here, you vacation here, you bank over here, you invest in property over here. It's a global economy, and people with freedom are intentional about doing what's best for them, that creates the most ease and the most flexibility. So I think one of the biggest shifts that you will experience as your life evolves financially is that you stop focusing on the bare minimum, and you stop focusing on what you can gain access to. Because at that point, at a certain point, access is the minimum. It's not, can I live there? You want me to live there. So you stop focusing on the bare minimum and you start optimizing for quality of life. And that's really what this visa decision represented for me. I didn't have to ask myself, what is the easiest visa to get? Or what is, because trust me, if I was focused on easy, I wouldn't have it. I wouldn't have it. I didn't have to ask myself, what is the cheapest visa to get? Or how can I get a visa to stay here? Instead, I was able to focus on if I choose to stay here, because it's an option for me. It's a choice for me. If I choose to stay here, because I already know you want me here. You want someone like me here. So if I choose to stay here, what kind of life do I want to live? And once I answered that question, it made the visa option simple. And the Wealthy Pensioner Visa was just better aligned for the life I wanted to live. And it just made more sense. Right? So I'm curious, which one would you choose? Are you a DTV that's still traveling the world? Or are you more of a long-term resident Wealthy Pensioner Visa person? And do you think countries like Thailand, are starting to position themselves to attract certain types of foreigners. There are certain countries that are getting ahead of the curve because they see how the world is changing globally. And I think they understand what globally mobile people, especially if they're affluent, I think they're starting to understand what globally mobile people prioritize. And you see it reflected in the benefits of certain visas. What do you think about that? Do you think Thailand is ahead of the curve, or they're just starting to get in line with what was already happening? What do you think? Let's talk about it before we wrap up. Let's talk about that. Mm-hmm. Miss Sierra said it's not my president. You know what? You notice I caught myself, Miss Sierra. I didn't say your president. I said that person in the White House. I thought about it. I almost said it, but I knew y'all would be offended if I said that. So yeah. That's funny. Hey, McCormick. That's another new name. Welcome, friend. Good to see you too. Love to be part of the Girl Circle. Well, you can be. Schedule a wealth clarity call and let's see how I can help you. My sister circle are ladies that have been through my coaching program that have performed exceptionally well and they have long-term goals that they meet. So we continue meeting after you complete the training for accountability purposes. And then they just start smashing those goals, just knocking them out. And full transparency, I am intentionally using my coaching program to curate the type of friend circle that I want to have. So the ladies in my sister circle have become my real friends. And I love that for us. So yeah, if you want to be part of the circle, schedule a wealth clarity call. And you have to go through one of my coaching programs. What happens when you're Good question, Miss Karen D. What happens with your visa status after 10 years? And yeah, you have to reapply. You have to reply. Thailand does not have like a permanent residency visa where you just apply one time, you're permanent, and you never have to again, at least not that I know of. I'm sure there are exceptions, like if you marry a Thai person, or if you get Thai citizenship or something like that. But yeah, most of their visas have limits. And once that time frame is over, then yeah, you have to reapply. Yep. You're welcome, Miss Tanya. I appreciate you. You always show up live and hold it down for the besties. I appreciate you. Like New York, yeah. Bangkok. And that's one of the things that surprised me so much about choosing to live in Bangkok. Because I never, when I tell you never, saw myself living in a big city. Because it's so much like New York. In fact, it's New York City on steroids. Let me tell the truth. Bangkok is New York City on steroids. First of all, the size of Bangkok, the number of people in Bangkok, the traffic in Bangkok, it's like New York times 3. If you can even imagine that. Bangkok is huge and it's crowded and there's a lot going on and it's a lot to do too. But also like New York, Bangkok has pockets of peace, has pockets of nature. It has lots of neighborhoods that are more luxury than others. So it's very similar to New York in many, many ways. I would say this area of Bangkok that I'm in is probably similar to Manhattan. Probably similar to Manhattan. That would make me mad. What would make you mad, Tanya? What was that about? How much do you pay for rent? I'll do a separate video on the leasing process and my rental process. This video is just about the visa, but I'll answer that in the separate video. I know that's right. We don't accept the minimum anymore. The minimum is like default. It's kind of like dating, right? A lot of people say, oh, my standards are he must have a job, and he must have his own place, and he must have a car. Why would you even mention that as a standard? That's the default. That's not even a standard to me. That's the default. That's a must have. So when you get to a certain point on your financial journey, there are some things that are the bare minimum default that you expect in terms of treatment and service and the type of life that you want to live. So you no longer have to optimize for the bare minimum because it's just default now. Just like you don't have to state that the guy you date or the man you marry must have a house and a car and a job. That's the default. You're not even entertaining anything that doesn't. So that's not even a standard if it's the default. Same thing applies in life. Once you reach a certain financial threshold, there's certain things you just don't entertain anymore. You don't need to optimize for it anymore. It's the default. It's amazing you said that because Claude told me today that international living for my energy, health, etc. is for me, not one particular place. Oh, you know what, Tanya? I think it would be good to experience a nomad life, or even if you just do it for 6 months to a year. I think it's good for everyone to experience a nomad life because every country is different. Every experience is different, and it shapes who you are. It shapes how you think. It shapes how you view the world. It shapes how you interact with people. And it just changes you in a good way. In a good way. Even if you're still in the workforce and you decide to go back home and go back to work, that international exposure will make you so much more competitive in the workforce because you will have insight that the people that's never left the four corners of their hometown could never even imagine. Right? But then the extra benefit for your health. Absolutely. Absolutely. I have been intentional about my health and wellness, but I think even for people that are not as intentional as I have been, they experience benefits that are very similar to what I'm experiencing simply because the foods don't have like the pesticides in it. Simply because the foods don't, like the countries don't allow certain things in their ingredients, like how the US allows like red dye and blue dye, but a lot of European countries, the same brand, the same product can look completely different because a lot of countries don't allow that mess in their food. They care about their citizens over profit, right? So the food, the preparation of the food is so different. Like even when I order online, I mean, not online, I order through Grab, and I also have a meal prep service that I just subscribed to. The places that I eat from, they don't use seed oils anymore, right? So the thought of, oh, eating out every day sounds so unhealthy. It's unhealthy in the United States. But here, I eat out, meaning I don't cook, even though my foods are prepared in a healthy way. I eat out every single day. I might cook breakfast, but lunch and dinner, I eat out every single day. And the foods that I order, the places I order from, they don't cook in seed oils. They stir fry in olive oil, or they use coconut oil, or they use avocado oil. A lot of the seasonings, and this, I guess, could be a downside, they're not very salty, but they use a lot of spices and herbs to flavor their food. So the food is prepared differently. Um, and I think your health would benefit from living in another country, even for a short while, simply because of the differences in the food. I'll share more detail about my health journey in a separate post. I'll start doing sip and shares where we just kick back and talk. But my inflammation has gone down so much. I used to have knee pain. I had a knee injury years ago when I was running races. My last half marathon, I haven't run since then because my knees were just messed up. I've had knee pain for years. My knees don't hurt anymore. I've been real tempted to try to run. I'm like, the knee pain just went away. I better not push it too far. But I don't have knee pain anymore. When I was seeing a physical therapist when I was in Malaysia, I had a lot of back pain too. And I thought it was these hard as heck beds here in Southeast Asia. And it probably was partially because of the beds are hard. I don't have back pain anymore. And because of all the areas where I had chronic daily pain is gone, I can only attribute that to the difference in the quality of food because I'm not as inflamed. So yeah, I think there are benefits, health benefits to living abroad. Try it out. And you don't have to commit to just one place. Do like Eileen is doing. Come to Thailand, get the DTV so you can continue to hop around for 6 months to a year. Get the DTV and travel Southeast Asia. Within 6 months, you will feel substantial differences in your health. Even if you don't change your nutrition, you're going to feel a difference in your health. But when you change your nutrition on top of that, child, your body will be like, oh, this is what living is really like. This is how I should be feeling. I'll share more about my health journey in a separate video. But yeah, living abroad definitely has its benefits. Miss Sierra said she was a wealthy pensioner visa. Yes. Miss Danielle said she's a long-term resident. Coming for a visit. Okay. I see your picture and I know your name, and I keep wanting to say it. It's on the tip of my tongue, but your YouTube name is throwing me off and it makes it disappear from my brain. She prefers the retirement visa NO. Awesome. What do you prefer about it? I actually considered it. And when I was about to give up on the wealthy pensioner visa, that was actually the one I was going to go with. But what is it about that one that you like? I like that one too. Danielle says she thinks Thailand is ahead of the curve. Yeah, I think so too. Because the world is changing. And these countries that are stuck in the way things were done in the 60s and 70s, they're going to lose population. France is adjusting to attract more international retirees, but Thailand is ahead of the curve. That tax benefit is gold. Yes, that tax benefit is gold because Thailand knows if they attract affluent, globally focused retirees, we're going to plant our feet. Even if we continue to travel, we're going to plant our feet, and this is going to be our home base. And we're going to spend money. And we're going to spend money, not just the inexpensive stuff. We're going to spend money on the luxury, on the services. We're going to hire the locals. Like I said, I just hired a meal prep and delivery service, right? I just don't want the decision fatigue to keep having to think about what am I going to eat today and what am I going to order today. I want to get rid of that too. Even though ordering out made it a lot easier, I want to get rid of that too. I don't even want to think. I want to choose my options once a month, and you mix and match them and mix and match the ingredients, and you surprise me. And I get a delivery of 2 meals every day. So you're going to hire locals, hire a housekeeper, come clean my house every 2 weeks. Although I have a washer and dryer, I've been washing like my cutesy underwears and stuff, little stuff, but big stuff. We got a laundry service. It's right outside the building. Make an appointment. Come do my laundry, please. Thank you very much. So yeah, the service options that are available. I haven't gotten back into my routine of getting lymphatic massages yet, but once I'm settled down, I'll get back into that routine. I'll probably get back into my physical therapy. I want to start getting like monthly facials done. Yeah, so they know people are going to come and spend, not looking for what's inexpensive, what's cheap, what's affordable. It's spending for the quality of life you want. And I love that. I love that it's so easily accessible. It's so convenient. And they aim to please. And I appreciate that. And when the service is good, I will continue to frequent the service, and I will also tip very generously. So yeah, having the benefits to be able to stay long term is beneficial to the country. I'm feeling more settled these days. I love to travel, but it can be a lot of work. I want options to sit when I want and to move when I feel like it. Miss Gail, I couldn't have said it better. That's exactly how I feel right now. Yeah, I'm just feeling more settled. Granted, I am going into the 5th year, starting my 5th year of retirement. So I've had that go-go phase. And now I'm like, and just reevaluating life while still traveling a little. Still traveling a little. Have my list of places I want to go. And because I live on this side of the world now, I'm not in a rush to get to them. I don't have to check off a box. I don't have to do them really, really quick because I got to go back to work, So I'll get to them eventually. Thank you. Like long-term residency can be done in Thailand and done while on another visa. Yep, can be done. You can apply for it inside the country, and it can be done while you're on another visa. So just make sure you allow enough time. If you have another visa, make sure you allow enough time so that your LTR is approved before your current visa expires, or make sure you have an option to extend your old visa if it does expire, so that you can continue to stay in the country until your LTR is approved. Okay, Tanya, I think the retirement non-O will work for me. Yeah, someone else just said that. Yeah, that's the one that was my second one I was going to consider. If I gave up on the wealthy pensioner. But yeah, let me know what is it that you like about the non-O retirement. The only thing I didn't like about the non-O is with the non-O, you can get a bank account too. So for those that are concerned about the bank account, you can get a bank account with the non-O. The only thing I did not like about the non-O is that you have to do the 90-day reporting. And also something else. I can't think of the second one, but that 90-day reporting thing just irritated me. The thought of it just irritated me. But I do like that one. Yes, definitely. Thank you for such valuable information. I'm listening as I make fruit salad and prep for the holiday on Monday. Oh wait, what holiday? What holiday is it in the U.S.? Hold on. Oh, Memorial Day. Oh, snap. Y'all, today is my brother's birthday. Oh, my good. Well, I'm 12 hours ahead, so it's not quite his birthday in the U.S. yet. But when I get off from y'all, I'm going to send him a voice text message and sing off key. Happy birthday to my baby brother. I love that little dude so much. Yes, definitely. Wow, yes, that's why I love our Thailand. If people say my country is cheap while I work hard to save some. Yeah. Dating, you ain't never lied. That's cool. Yes, good advice. Explore, girl, explore. Yes, explore, Tanya. Love Thai food. Oh, thank you. So I'm glowing. I wish I didn't have any inflammation, joint, back pain. Tanya, I promise you, when you start traveling, which by the way, do you have a target date when you're going to start traveling? I promise you, within 6 months, you will notice the inflammation is going to go down. In fact, my cousin, when I was in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, and my cousin that came to visit me, she has an autoimmune disease, not lupus. What's the one where you just feel pain all over your body, just everywhere? I'm having a brain fart. But she has an autoimmune disease where she's in constant pain all the time, everywhere. She has arthritis. She has like her knuckles and her joints, like her hands just look swollen all the time. Her joints just look swollen all the time. And I feel so bad for her because she just looks like some days she's okay. She's fine. And she eats very healthy in the United States. I think her boyfriend is mainly a vegetarian and she does most of the cooking. So she cooks very healthy vegetarian type meals, but she is always inflamed. Do you know when she came to visit me in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia 2 years ago? She was there, I want to say she stayed with me 3 weeks. By the second week, she had no pain. By the second week, she had no pain. And she travels with like a lot of medication. She was still taking her medication, of course, but she had no pain. And this is someone that lives with chronic pain every day. She had to retire. She went out on disability retirement. She had to retire from her job. She had a regular office job, but she was in constant pain every day. I can't remember which autoimmune disease she has, but she was in Malaysia for just 2 weeks and noticed that she had less pain. And when she went home, she was probably home maybe 2 weeks. And she was like, she felt it coming back just that fast. So, yeah, try living abroad for a couple of months. And I bet you'll notice a difference. You're going to look into the DTV. Yeah, I think DTV is good for travelers. Wealthy pensioner visa person. It makes sense. Thailand is ahead of the curve. Yeah. I really believe my body would get healed when I go abroad. I have changed eating habits and exercise and still in pain. I think you will too. I look forward to the day you say, Malika, I got a date. I'm leaving on this date. I'm going to be so excited for you. Hey, Sing Sis, you're new. Welcome. How long have you been living in Thailand? As far as living in Thailand, I just settled in a month ago. However, I have been visiting Thailand off and on for the past probably 10 to 12 years. Yeah. You're welcome. Not multiple sclerosis. Let me look at what autoimmune disease causes full body pain. It's not lupus. Fibromyalgia. Yes, fibromyalgia. That's what she has. My cousin is in pain every single day. Came to Malaysia within a couple of weeks. She was like, "Oh, wait a minute." It's amazing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, y'all knew what I was talking about. Thank you. Yes. I don't know what it is in the food in the United States because my cousin eats healthy. She eats healthy and her partner is vegan. And I don't mean the vegans that just don't eat meat, but they eat a bunch of junk food. He's a personal trainer. He lifts weights. He's like a for real vegan. They eat lots and lots of vegetables. So they eat healthy, but she's still in constant pain every single day. It's in the food. It's in the pesticides. It's in the soil. It's in everything. Yes, after losing 75 pounds, you would think you would be better. Absolutely. 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 Do you have a video comparing the different countries of Southeast Asia to Thailand, like Malaysia versus Thailand? Actually, I do. Hold on, let me find it for you. This is a really good question. I did a video before I left the United States when I was planning my move abroad, and I did compare. It's in the playlist called Designing a Life Abroad. And I compared 3 countries, 3 Southeast Asian countries. I can't remember which country. Oh, yes, I do. The 3 countries I was considering: Indonesia, Malaysia, and Thailand. Yeah. In fact, let me drop this link for you. Hold on. Long-term visas in Southeast Asia. Yep, that's what I called it. I will drop this link for you, Miss Karen D. I just remembered I did this video where I talked about the long-term visas. And I think in this video, I was talking about the non-O retirement visa, because that's the one I was considering back then. I didn't learn about the wealthy pensioner visa until I got to Thailand. Yeah, I hope that link showed up. But that's the title. That's the title. Long-term visas in Southeast Asia, retire abroad, Black women abroad. And I don't know if that link will allow you to click. But anyway, that's the title. And if you need to go to my not my website, go to my YouTube channel. It's under the playlist, Designing a Life Abroad. I talk about long-term visas. I talk about the 3 accounts you need before moving abroad. I talk about the money moves that you should make before leaving the United States. I talk about how to save $5,000 fast, 10 things to consider before moving to a new country. Yeah, I talk about a lot of different things about preparing for a life abroad. So there's a whole playlist on my channel with that type of content. But the wealthy pensioner visa, I don't think I mentioned it in that video because I wasn't considering it at the time. But anyway, this has been fun. Y'all have showed up in the live chat, and I appreciate you so much. But as I mentioned, I live abroad on the passive income generated by my portfolio, and I teach other Black women how to do the same. So if you want to work with me, the link to schedule a wealth clarity call is in the video description. Hope this video was helpful. Before you go, smash that like button. Smash that like button and share it with someone you may know who's interested in a visa other than the most popular DTV that everyone talks about. But anyway, next week, we will talk about the leasing process, finding a condo, hiring a realtor, finding a condo, how I negotiated the terms and conditions of my lease, and things like that. We'll talk about finding a place to live next week. But all right, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye for now. Bye, friends.